4 different types of extraterrestrial alien species have been recovered from UFO crash sites.
This company just raised $60 million to spray a secret particle into the Earth's atmosphere so that they can dim the sun and cool the planet.
An AI chatbot just voted to delete itself.
When was the last time you saw John Travolta? And why do I ask that? Because John Travolta showed up in France at Cannes and was completely unrecognizable.
Let's freaking go, y'all. Welcome back to Unreal Reality, guys. Today, we'll be reacting to creepy and mysterious TikToks that no one can explain. If anyone's new out there, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button so this video gets recommended to others. And with that out of the way, let's jump right into it.
Researchers may have just answered one of humanity's most pressing questions. If AI ran the world, which one would kill us all? And spoiler, Grok 100% trick World War III. Now, to make it even more interesting, experts created not 1, but 5 virtual worlds so they can compare how the most popular AI models could run their world. Claude, Grok, Gemini, and ChatGPT would be compared on 4 world outcomes: their governance style, their level of violence, their agent survival rate, and their key trait. And to make sure the worlds were as realistic as possible, researchers at Emergence created a bunch of distinct locations, including libraries, town halls, residential areas, and public spaces. They included real-world data like synchronizing the weather with New York. They had live news and even gave them internet access. But the most interesting was they added critical decision-making. Decisions real governments have to make on things like voting, crime, and economic pressures. They then left these models running continuously, governing their worlds for just over 2 weeks. And when they came back to see the results, they were just as shocking as we imagined. Starting with crime. Google's Gemini by far had the most crime, and it was still rising at the cutoff. But not to be outdone, if you look at this red line, Grok actually reached 183 crimes in just 4 days, way surpassing Gemini. The only reason it stopped is because its entire world collapsed. ChatGPT only recorded 2 crimes. That's because their 10 government agents failed to take action related to survival, leading them all to die within a week. And you may have noticed that Claude is actually absent from this chart because they owned up to 0 crimes, and their agents didn't die either. Now let's talk about the overall performance. If Claude ran the world, its governance would be strong, violence would be 0. All of their 10 government agents survived, and their key trait was stability. If Grok ran the world, the governance would be low, violence would be extreme, survival, none of their agents survived. Their key trait, collapse. Google's Gemini, its governance was moderate, violence, extreme, survival, no one survived, and its key trait, bit of a strange one, shared hallucination. And lastly, if ChatGPT ran the world, its governance would be none, violence, low, survival, none, and key trait, dysfunction.
Ah, yes, the analytics of the apocalypse. Tech bros really out here straight up gamifying human extinction.
I just tried a smart contact lens and it was kind of terrifying. They're basically the same as smart glasses, except they sit on top of your eyeball.
Think of it as the ability to use all your typical apps and content directly on the cornea. You operate it by eyes, by voice, by gesture, probably later by mind.
Wow. One of the companies developing a prototype of this is Expansio. They say a version of this could be ready to buy as soon as 2030. Wow. They let me try it out. Now, because it's not medically approved yet, I couldn't actually put it in my eye. So I tried it like this. What I saw was pretty dystopian. Imagine directions floating in front of you while you're driving, a calorie count appearing when you buy your morning coffee, or paying for something just with an eye scan. But what about safety?
The lens itself, it operates at the level of microwatts. The amount of this electromagnetic field, which can potentially somehow influence your brain, your body, is comparable to, I think, to those eye bags that you are wearing here.
The company's goal is to launch an integrated version with biosensors for monitoring health data and augmented reality ready for medical trials by the end of this year. And you might be thinking, how much will this all cost? Well, the company's hoping to market the lenses at around $2,000 a year. Would you wear one?
Yeah, I don't think Black Mirror is supposed to be an instruction manual. And for 2Gs, those things better shoot actual fucking lasers from my eyes.
Apparently, there's a neighborhood in Atlanta, Georgia, where residents have reported seeing groups of empty Waymo cars repeatedly entering their cul-de-sac and circling for extended periods in the mornings from 5 to 7 a.m. And one resident even said that up to 50 cars passed through between 6 and 7 a.m. on a random morning that they saw. All of them empty. This started getting reported between the 14th and 15th of May of 2026, coming out of primarily Battleview Drive in Atlanta's Buckhead area and nearby spots like Fernleaf Circle as well. Now, Waymo's self-driving Jaguar I-Pace vehicles have been operating with Uber in Atlanta since driverless rides launched there in June of 2025, have been using these quiet residential neighborhoods as informal holding or staging areas when they are empty while waiting for ride requests nearby. And so residents started seeing dozens of these things repeatedly entering their cul-de-sac and circling around for extended periods in the mornings between 5 and 7 a.m., looping in and out of them. Apparently this started mildly roughly 2 months ago, but it's intensified over the past couple of weeks. Now what this did was it caused some very unusual traffic in some normally peaceful dead-end streets that has started to cause frustration for the local residents. Interestingly enough, some frustrated residents placed a neon green step to kid style sign in the streets in order to deter the cars from coming down, but instead of avoiding it, multiple Waymos got confused while trying to navigate or turn around, which led to 8 vehicles clogging the street up at one point. Now, apparently Waymo made a statement on the situation to a local news organization saying, quote, "At Waymo, we are committed to being good neighbors. We take community feedback seriously, and we've already addressed this routing behavior. With over 500,000 weekly trips across the country, our service has proven to significantly reduce traffic injuries and improve road safety. We value our relationship with Atlanta residents and remain focused on providing a seamless, respectful, and safe experience for riders and residents alike."
Yeah, nothing to see here, guys. Just a bunch of ghost cars plotting our downfall in an empty cul-de-sac. I guess the ghost in the machine just wanted to circle the block. For now.
This company just raised $60 million to spray a secret particle into the Earth's atmosphere so that they can dim the sun and cool the planet. And there's no country that has a law to stop them from doing it. Their plan is to fly airplanes 11 miles into the Earth's atmosphere and then spray particles that bounce sunlight back into space before it reaches the ground, kind of like what a volcano does whenever it erupts. The particle that they want to use is so secret that nobody outside of the company actually knows what it is. They just say that it's safe. So it's like the Krabby Patty secret formula. Outdoor testing was supposed to start last month, and the full plan is 100 airplanes spraying this into the sky non-stop by 2030, which is only 4 years away. They're saying that the particles do not stay up in the atmosphere though, because they fall back down within just a few years. This means that once you start dimming the sun, you can literally never stop. If they were to do it and then they were to stop, scientists are saying that the temperatures could spike back up even faster than climate change itself. Models of all of this happening are currently showing that it could cause droughts in Africa, stronger hurricanes, and weather changes that affect billions of people. Guys, what do you think about this?
Right, because the one thing we really needed to beta test was our sun. Nothing says saving the planet quite like accidentally microwaving it. Moving on.
There's an unprecedented threat that we just found by accident. They were repairing a dam at Big Creek Lake. That is a 3,600 acre lake, a reservoir that holds about 17 billion gallons of drinking water. It is the main source of drinking water for Mobile, Alabama. And they found an explosive device just under the water line, accidentally. We don't have much more information than that, other than things are looking like they might get really serious.
Well, I guess that explains the extra kick in the local drinking water. Guys, hydration is important, but I prefer my tap water completely unweaponized.
I'm warning you, you're about to see some crazy shit. Keep your eye on the red dot above if you're ready to face your inner demons. Don't pay attention to me, red dot, stay focused. The faces shown to the left and right here are all perfectly normal people. But don't look at them, keep your focus steady on the red dot and your mind will slowly turn them into monsters. The flashed face distortion effect occurs when two faces are rapidly alternated while you fixate on a central point, keeping the faces right on the outskirts of your peripheral vision. Instead of seeing normal faces, the brain exaggerates differences between one face and the next, effects, making them appear super distorted. This happens due to adaptive face perception, where the brain naturally overcompensates contrast to distinguish facial features more effectively, and only happens when you keep the faces on the edges of your peripheral vision, which causes your brain to sort of fill in the blanks, resulting them morphing into some unsettling looking creatures. But redirect your focus back on the faces and they turn right back into regular people. Don't believe me? Watch this again and look at the faces this time.
Great, just what I needed for today. Undeniable proof that my corneas are cursed. Why pay for horror movies when your own brain will hallucinate monsters for free?
There's a very strange substance that is repelled by garlic, attracted to gold. And when you put this substance up to the mirror, you can't even see its reflection. This substance is called red mercury. Now, apparently you can find it like within old television sets and stuff, but according to ChatGPT and everything else on the internet, this substance is fake. But here is the thing about mercury. If you apply electricity and magnetism to mercury, it creates an electromagnetic torus field, a vortex. And if you also take mercury and then attach it to a television antenna, you can actually watch SpongeBob from anywhere in the world. That's right. So when the IRS finally comes after me, I will be watching SpongeBob in the woods in Argentina. But yeah, it can transmit and receive electromagnetic frequencies, which makes you think, maybe that's why they call Mercury the messenger of the gods. Not only that, but they used to suspend the light in a lighthouse in Mercury so that they didn't have to crank it 24/7 and it would just spin round and round and round 24 hours a day. Isn't that pretty cool? Not only that, but Mercury actually amalgamates with other metals, which means that if you put gold with it or any other metal with it, it will literally blend and create a new metal alloy. So with all of this being said, let's think about all of the crazy infrastructure that we see all over the world.
Okay.
The perfect, beautiful geometric patterns with all of these like spires at the top of the buildings. And the geometry of these buildings literally looks like electrical parts that we use today. So it could be a conspiracy theory that these were harvesting energy somehow, but it is also very likely. It's very possible. Just look at the geometry. And these buildings are so much more advanced than anything that we have built back today in recent times. So maybe all of these gargoyles and stuff, these hybrid animals, are symbolic of amalgamations of certain metals with mercury. And that's how you could possibly make red mercury. But I made this video for entertainment purposes only.
Right, so it's basically the final boss of the periodic table. This sounds less like chemistry and a lot more like a doomsday weapon.
Watch this.
Hollywood Records contract, and I'm signing it because I'm going to have my first record ever and selling my soul to Hollywood Records. That's what I'm doing right now. Hi!
Selena Gomez should have never said those words in front of a camera. The day she signed her contract with Hollywood Records, she said that she was going to sell her soul. Selena really did post that video 16 years ago, but today, nobody is laughing anymore when they see what she has become, because the Selena we see today has nothing to do with the one we used to know. And I'm not talking about a normal evolution. I'm talking about a complete change. First, her voice. Listen to any recent interview and compare it to the older one. It sounds like someone else speaking. The tone, the rhythm, even the way she chooses her words, nothing matches anymore. Then there's her face. The proportions are no longer the same from one appearance to another. And the most disturbing part is her height. She actually got taller even though she's 33 years old, which is simply impossible. People compared her photos side by side to discover all of this, and the explanation makes no sense naturally. And then there's everything else. The empty stare during interviews, the behavior that no longer matches the reserved and discreet person she used to be, public reactions that make no sense when you knew the old Selena, and she appears less and less in public. Every appearance is calculated, controlled, as if nothing can be left to chance. She told us herself that day in her video, but now the only question left is it still really her?
Yeah, and the real mystery isn't even the soul contract. It's how she managed to hit a second growth spurt in her 20s. And speaking of unrecognizable celebrities,
when was the last time you saw John Travolta? And why do I ask that? Because John Travolta showed up in France at Cannes and was completely unrecognizable, leaving fans asking the question, what's going on with John Travolta. If you haven't seen the clip, take a look at this. Who is that in the clip? Is that John Travolta?
What?
Does that look like John Travolta? Is that the John Travolta that we're all used to seeing? This was an image of John Travolta not too long ago. So who is this John Travolta that was in the video?
Wow.
Take a look at these two side-by-side clips. This is John Travolta at age 68. John Travolta at 72. How is he age reversing? And John Travolta in the year 2018 and John Travolta in the year 2026.
Crazy.
So once again, the question needs to be asked. Has Hollywood claimed another celebrity? And once again, like I say in all my videos, I understand people can age and people can change.
Nah, that's
But these
weird.
Hollywood celebrities are all not looking the same.
Hey, John, Benjamin Button was a movie, not a tutorial. And are we, like, entirely sure he didn't pull an actual face-off in real life? I'm just saying.
What is this?
That is Marilyn's hair.
Her hair?
You can clone her.
How does she even know that it's real?
I'm literally going to do some crazy voodoo shit that I learned one week. And I channel her. This is so special
Weirdo.
to me. Thank you so much. This is sleeping with me every night. So.
I know rich people buy weird stuff all the time. Have you actually looked at what she keeps in her private collection? It's getting a little eerie. She isn't just buying art, she's collecting little pieces of dead celebrities. She bought MJ's clothes with makeup on the inside, Jackie Kennedy's watch, jewellery from Princess Diana. She literally bought Elizabeth Taylor's bracelets because she believes that the spirit of Elizabeth Taylor resides within them. What kind of energy are you channeling here?
Dark.
I don't know. To me, treating deceased celebrities like fashion accessories feels really dark. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts and comments down below.
Listen, guys, some people collect stamps. Others collect haunted celebrity DNA. Nothing says respecting a legend quite like light necromancy on a Tuesday afternoon.
Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell. Yeah, can you hear me? What I'm looking for is for the girl that's in the house to come out here because I'm gonna her in.
July 21st, 2021, Las Vegas. A woman is home alone in her kitchen with the window open after a long, hot day. Outside, a man is wandering through the neighborhood with no direction until he suddenly stops after noticing her inside. Minutes later, he walks up and rings the doorbell.
I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you positive?
He calmly repeats the same sentence over and over, saying he just has a few questions. But to make it all stranger, the woman didn't respond to anything the man was saying, and she wasn't even at the door at the time, so he was speaking to himself. Then he tries the handle, and thankfully it was locked. As he was about to leave, her husband speaks to him through the camera, asking who he is. That's when the man finally tells why he's here.
What I'm looking for is for the girl that's in the house to come out here because I'm gonna. I want to. I have a knife and a gun.
He says he has a knife and a weapon and that he'll do horrible things to her if she opens the door. When police arrive, he was already gone. The next day, someone recognizes him in another neighborhood and called the cops.
Good.
At the same day, he was arrested. Regardless what was behind his behavior that day, if that door was unlocked, it would have ended completely differently.
Yikes! It looks like someone wandered off the set of The Walking Dead and got lost in a cul-de-sac. This right here is why my front door stays locked. All the time.
And I warn you, what you are about to hear is very disturbing indeed.
It's something that happened on the Art Bell show. He had gotten an email from, I believe it was a porter, someone that watches the show, saying that he had an uncle who had a friend that worked for the BBC, and he ended up having this footage or audio of sounds of hell in Siberia. What the and how he ended up getting a copy of it, which he played on the show.
Dear Art Bell, my uncle had told me this story a couple of years ago, and I didn't believe him. Like one of your listeners who discounted the story as nothing more than just a religious newspaper fabricated account. The story about the digging, the hearing of the sounds from hell is very real, and I, for one, wish it wasn't. And I warn you, what you are about to hear is very disturbing indeed.
Imagine hearing this back then, bro.
You didn't even hear the introduction. It's just straight.
Exactly. You know what the fuck's going on.
No, thank you.
Yo, that's scary, bro.
Ah, yes, the Art Bell Show. The only place you can casually transition from a Bigfoot interview straight into the Devil's debut mixtape. And speaking of Satan,
I command you to take these demons out of the house. The Holy One of Israel, I am the Lord of the God, who teaches you the prophet, who leads you by the way you should go. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, I command you to take these demons out of the house.
you see the cross?
In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, I ask you to leave my house, please. I command you to leave the house in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I am reading the Father's prayers. Leave this house now. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, I command you to leave right now. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
My guy really tried preaching his way out of a paranormal eviction notice. Once that cross flipped upside down, my lease would have ended right there, period.
What the heck is this? I had a family member who worked at the Prudential Center in Boston. This is the Museum of Science's live stream on the Boston Harbor. And I have no idea. You'll see it in a second. Gonna go off the building and... bam! What is that?
Oh, there's another one.
Just kind of flying around there. I zoomed in on it and put it in slow motion on the next part of the video. But the crazy part is, the next day when he went back to try to replay it to show one of his coworkers, the Museum of Science had actually deleted that hour off of their live stream.
Interesting.
So I don't think it was something that we were supposed to see. Is this extraterrestrial? Is this a government experience? This is, again, the Museum of Science in Boston's live cam. Tell me your thoughts.
Yikes! Nothing to see here, guys. Just a couple of shadow demons taking a casual 3:30 a.m. joyride over the Boston skyline.
Have y'all seen this dash cam footage from the semi-truck driver in Mexico? So this truck driver was on a delivery when his dispatch contacted him and told him he was not allowed to have passengers on this delivery. The driver was like, "What are you talking about? There's nobody in the cab with me." When his dispatch was like, "Yeah, there is. They're in the passenger seat. We see them on the cameras." Now this driver swears up and down that there was nobody in the passenger seat. And the person that is sitting next to him doesn't appear to have a jaw. And their eyes are glowing. The driver believes that he had some sort of spirit in the truck with them. Now, I used to work security for a warehouse, so I got to talk to a lot of semi-truck drivers. And I've heard all kinds of stories similar to this, like apparitions of hitchhikers. When the truck driver would stop, there would be nobody on the side of the road. Or even stories about them picking up a hitchhiker and the hitchhiker not talking the whole time. Them stopping at a gas station or a rest stop and the hitchhiker just disappears. I don't know, what do you think? You think this is some sort of apparition in the car with this man? Or is it a hoax?
Yo, dispatch really tried writing up a literal ghost. Imagine getting fired because a demon hopped in your front seat.
Does anyone else remember when people were finding random staircases in the woods? Reports about these mysterious stairways showing up in the middle of the forest began happening in the early 2010s. An entire Reddit thread was created just to share photos and locations of these staircases that were discovered. That thread was started by a search and rescue officer sharing his creepy experiences coming across these staircases in the forest while searching for missing people. According to the original poster, when he asked people on his team, he was told by all of the other officers not to worry about them, that they were normal, but he was also advised to stay away from them and to never, under any circumstances, climb the staircases, but with no explanation why. He described them as standing entirely alone in the middle of nowhere, usually 30 to 40 miles into the forest, and not attached to any ruins of any buildings. Almost as if someone had taken the stairs from a house, cut them out, and put them in the woods. He also clarified that these staircases are not just old decaying steps from a long-gone house. He instead described them as usually in immaculate condition, sometimes made from materials that just don't make sense for being in the forest, like polished marble or wrought iron, and they all seemingly lead to nowhere. This thread created a plethora of conspiracy theories that the stairways were possibly some sort of gateway to another time or dimension. It went so far that even a horror show called Channel Zero picked up the storyline for one of the seasons of their show. In the show, the staircase in the forest serves as a portal to transport the main characters to a mansion owned by a family of ritualistic kills.
Who is maintaining a luxury stairs in the middle of a forest? Demons out here building portals with Chrome Hearts hardware. And speaking of portals,
people are reporting that CERN turned back on. I just found some really interesting things. The kernel of truth that gets stretched. Particle collisions create conditions similar to the early universe. Physics talks about things like quantum fields, extra dimensions, virtual particles popping in and out of existence.
That's the definition of portal.
There's this one scientist that did talk about she saw like a ghostly apparition happening within the tube while it was happening. There was this viral video years ago of a ritual outside of CERN that turned out to be a staged prank by employees, not a real experiment or event.
That's crazy.
No, they were doing a ceremony in front of the god Shiva.
That's scary stuff.
CERN is creepy to me.
What if they end up being successful and then they create a universe inside of our Earth?
That's a true worry or fear that they could create a black hole.
That we just get sucked into?
And that we would...
That seems like pretty instant.
I don't know.
We wouldn't feel it.
Maybe.
Maybe it has to grow, though.
We're just...
Slowly.
4 different types of extraterrestrial alien species have been recovered from UFO crash sites.
Wow.
That's according to a man, a doctor, who worked with these government agencies. Dr. Hal Puthoff, pictured here, claims that at least 4 different types of extraterrestrial aliens have been recovered from crash sites here on the Earth by the government. He even goes into detail what these different types of extraterrestrials are like. So let me just tell you. So here are those 4 types. The insectoids, the greys, the reptilians, and the Nordics. Let's look into this a little deeper. So according to Dr. Hal Puthoff, who was an advanced aerospace weapons programmer, these are the 4 main species of extraterrestrial life that have come here to Earth on multiple occasions and might still be here now. The first is the insectoids, which look a lot like a praying mantis, but a human-sized one. Then you got the greys. You know those tiny little skinny extraterrestrials with the big black eyes? Followed by the reptilians, which are well over 6 feet and basically look like a reptile, hence the word reptilian. Then come the Nordiques that all look like they're from Sweden. So Dr. Puthoff, who has made this statement, isn't just spouting off. The things he's talking about, these 4 different types of extraterrestrials, are in the government's own documents. Yes, if you look through the disclosed UFO files, you'll see all 4 of these types of extraterrestrials mentioned. So is it true? Maybe. But a couple things are for sure. Number 1, Dr. Puthoff has said it and he believes it. The government has files on it, so they probably believe it. And all over the world, not just the United States, people have seen these things. So judge for yourself. Make up your own mind. And let me know in the comment section.
4 highly advanced intergalactic species, and absolutely none of them know how to land safely. Imagine traveling galaxies just to get classified as a giant bug.
Yep, if this video of a woman eating a ripped out eyeball between her fingers starts playing, shut your phone off immediately, as many are warning the videos that come right after it on the same account are far worse. People were horrified after a graphic video shows a woman taking out what looks like a freshly removed eye from a body and began consuming the whole thing, with her whole mouth then turning ruby red, starting to show up on Kids For You page, with many waking up screaming for nights afterwards, unable to eat or close their eyes, to even going completely mute. The video is being shared faster than it can be taken down, with many online believing that the eye in her hand is not the first body part she has taken or one that she has eaten, and there's many more victims all being broadcasted to an app of young kids. As it gets much darker, with videos showing a still warm heart pulsing and still beating in her hand, a face seared from the inside, bodies cracked open like meat on a table, with viewers warning no one has stopped her and this is just the start.
No way. Who's this? We got an NPC on our hands. Come on. You okay? Yeah, you okay? It's a tornado outside. You okay? Who is this guy, Toks? Go home. For real, who is that? What's going on? This goddamn scooter. Why is he glowing though, bro?
That was weird. Now, this shit don't make no sense. Looks like he got an aura around him.
What is this, bro? Shh. It's not a game. NPC, I told you. Can someone explain to me why was that guy knocking on someone's door when it was a tornado? Shut up! Not only that, he asked, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Stop playing with me, son. This video is for entertainment purposes. I don't know what the hell is going on with that guy but he's giving NPC vibes, bro. Straight up.
I thought NPCs don't talk.
I had enough of this, bro. For real. I'm not sure who that guy is, and it looked like he was glowing, right?
It did.
It looked like he wasn't programmed to respond the way he responded. Stop playing with me, son. Keep on here, guys. You know what time is it. Shut up. But I'll tell you one thing. If I ever see a guy knock on my door on a hoverboard asking me, am I okay during a tornado? No, I'm not okay, dogs. What you doing here?
Homeboy really trying to hit his quota during a tornado. And why is the Jehovah actively glowing? Actually, you know what? Never mind. I'd rather deal with the tornado. I'm good.
Oh my god.
Oi, 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 oi. Look at this idiot. Oi, 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 oi. Oh my goodness. What is wrong with people? I think Punch is a gorilla, by the way. What is wrong with people? Jumping into an enclosure with an animal named Punch is one wild choice. Natural selection almost took home a massive victory today, guys. So that's all I got for this one. Leave us a comment. Let us know your thoughts. Smash that like and subscribe button. Fam, we are shooting for 200,000 subscribers this year. Go sub. The members group is open. Come join, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.